recorded live at 4ZZZ Studios, Meanjin, Brisbane.
On 102.1 FM.
And broadcast across Australia on the Community Radio Network.
You're listening to Zed Games.
Zed Games brings you the best in gaming news, reviews, community and culture.
Want to reach out?
Share your hot take?
Or do you just want to share your favourite game?
Find us on socials at Zed Games AU.
Hello.
Oh.
Greetings,
Hello.
listeners.
Hi.
Did the suspense make you... I was going to say suspenseful.
Giddy with anticipation.
Oh my god, you're such a better speaker than I am.
Linguistic skills I pride myself on.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I am Maylee.
Yes.
Hi.
Who are you
Maylee.
fine folks?
I'm Caroline.
And I am Peter.
And we are Zed Games here
Yes.
on 4ZZZ.
We're all of Zed Games.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Well, at least for tonight.
What are we here to talk about?
Video games.
News, reviews, and general chatter.
Culture.
Culture.
Music,
Popular culture.
anecdotes,
Our lives.
Oh,
Not really.
yeah.
our gaming lives somewhat.
Oh, yes.
You know what I've just noticed? All three of us. There's three of us sitting in this studio, and we are all wearing glasses because we're big nerds. And I don't know, maybe you have some horrifying reason that you have glasses, but maybe you're just like
Genetics.
me and you've played a lot of video games
Yeah.
and messed up
Oh,
your
that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
genetics. Well, for me, actually, it was books initially. Because
Wow.
I've only had mine
Nerd.
since 2018, so I'm going to blame work.
I'm
I'm having to focus on a tiny screen from far away when working retail because the desks are way too low, so yeah.
I got mine in uni. I had a semester, no glasses.
Oh, wow.
I had a break between the semesters, played a lot of video games, came back and I couldn't see the board.
I got mine in like grade 2 or 3.
See, you, I think, just are built like this.
Yes.
We
I
just
blame,
messed up our eyes.
I blame my father. He has the bad eye genetics, and I got them in a big way.
I feel like I look better with glasses than what I do without them.
Same, because I've never known myself without glasses, and therefore I look weird, and my eyes look small without them.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's very strange.
But they help us play video games, and I
They
get to sit
do.
back on my couch and look at my giant TV much easier and focus on it. So, yes.
I say.
Good job bringing that back around.
Well, I just want to go really much further into this glasses debate, but you're right. That's not what people here to listen to. So I'm going to put on the
I mean, there
news.
might be something like one or two people out there
No,
might
it's-
really be keen on a
it's
glasses
just for us.
conversation. Okay.
They can't. They're not invited. But they are invited to listen to the news
Yes,
while we have our secret glasses conversation.
indeed.
Yes, you're not invited.
Enjoy.
This week in Newsies. This week saw the final closure of the digital marketplace for the Xbox 360 and Xbox Live Arcade after 19 years of operation. The service was a major part of the mainstream popularization of independent digital games. Fans spent the last days trawling for deals and titles that will now become unavailable for purchase. Personally, I nabbed Suda51's action baseball game for Kinect, Diabolical Pitch, and if hearing that makes you think you missed out, the Metacritic is 56. The spirit of the Xbox Live Arcade lives on though, and this year particularly is paying quite the tribute to 2008, with the release of the anniversary edition of Braid. World of Goo 2 just got a new release date of tomorrow, that's August the 2nd, and perhaps the most unexpected announcement of all, Castle Crashers is getting new DLC, 16 years after launch. Painter Boss Paradise gives the game a new coat of paint, a new official character, and official Steam Workshop support, which allows for custom content. The DLC will not be available for the original 360 release, however, for reasons why, see the start of this news story. Do you dislike skill-based matchmaking? Well, statistically, you're probably wrong. Activision have released a white paper revealing that they have been doing extensive A/B testing with Call of Duty's player base, where they would gradually turn down the feature for some of the player base. The results were clear, with players not using skill-based matchmaking, playing less, and quitting more often. Activision didn't stop there, however, and also released a huge dataset for Call of Duty Warzone's Caldera map for academic use. This data includes information on how players move throughout the map, giving opportunities for game design research and AI training. Some news bites. In this week's layoff news, Bungie will reduce its workforce by 17%. The International Olympics Committee ended their relationship with Nintendo and Sega for the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games series to explore NFTs and esports. And after a 36% price drop, PSVR 2 sales spiked by 2,000%. Additionally, the Steam PSVR 2 app will be released on August 7th. Upcoming game releases. August 2nd will see World of Goo 2 for Switch and PC, Operation Tango for Switch, Thank Goodness You're Here for PlayStation platform, Switch and PC, Toomba Special Edition for PlayStation 5, Switch and PC, The Mortuary Assistance for PlayStation platforms and Xbox platforms. August 6th will see Fields of Hysteria for PC, August 7th will see a port of Pepper Grinder for PlayStation platforms and Xbox platforms, and Volgar the Viking 2 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. August 8th, we'll see Creatures of Ava for Xbox Series X and S and PC. And that's all this week in gaming news.
We are Zed Games here on 4ZZZ. I am Maylee.
Yeah,
Yes, you are.
And
You
who
are.
are you, my friends?
I'm Caroline.
That is Caroline.
Yeah.
And that's Peter. No, wait, that's me.
That's
I'm
Pe-
Peter.
Me is Peter?
Me is Peter.
Hi, me.
Me portraying as Peter for this evening.
So, we've got a few reviews coming later in the show, but I just wanted to hop in quickly to ask how you guys been? What you been playing?
Yeah.
What's new in gaming news? How sad are we still that Frostpunk got delayed? Because I'm not playing Frostpunk at this very moment, and it is devastating.
I feel sad for you, having
you.
never played Frostpunk, but I know it's a decent strategy game to some extent.
Nothing about it.
I will get into it at some point, but like
City
at
management
Frostpunk
strategy.
5, maybe?
Oh my god, Frostpunk 5, that's going to be the peak of the series. I'm calling it now.
It's not called Frost anymore, it's like called Tropical Punk.
Yeah.
And it's a solar experience as opposed to trying to deal with all of the, frostiness.
And everything's nice and positive.
And everything's
not
getting
a
flooded
brutal
because it's too hot. It's
So
melting.
it is still a brutal dictatorship.
Yes. It's just a water world
That
instead.
seems fun. Tropical dictatorship.
Yeah, everyone's wearing Hawaiian shirts while they get oppressed.
Look, if I was going to be oppressed, I don't want to be oppressed in the world of Frostpunk. It is not friendly.
No.
They eat gruel and work in the coal mines and use children as kindling.
You know that movie Snowpiercer? Imagine that, but not on a train.
Yeah.
I can't imagine it because I've not seen it.
Okay.
I've not even heard of it.
It's like real cold.
Okay, cool.
Really cold, very harsh conditions, not much food.
Yeah.
I can picture it.
So
I'm lying, I can't,
what
but-
have we been thinking about, if not Frostpunk?
I've just been playing Terraria, adding to my over 1,000 hours in that game.
That's impressive.
That seems like the game should have probably finished a while ago. I know you can play for endless hours in those sort of games, especially being creative and stuff
I
like
just
that.
keep starting new characters and then I just build stuff and go mining while I listen to my lectures.
Okay, so it's not just one world you've been working
Oh,
on.
no.
No, okay, right. I was going to say 1,000 hours in one world of the game seems a little excessive. Like, what are you building? We need some screenshots. But
things I cannot say on air.
To be fair.
No, I'm actually
I'll
not
find
that
out
great
later.
at building. I just like digging holes.
Oh, yeah. I getcha.
I get it.
Yes.
What about you, Peter?
I have been playing a game that I will be reviewing later this evening, sort of idea, but I am also very much getting back into my World of Warcraft now that the pre-expansion has come out.
Yes,
So,
you were just telling me about this. It is the start of the end?
Kind of. They're portraying it as kind of like the final 3 expansions for World of Warcraft.
I
The
don't
World
believe
Souls
them.
Saga. And this is the first of 3 expansions that are supposed to all come out within 5 years. we'll see if that actually happens. They seem to be
Yeah.
slightly smaller planned expansions than previous ones, but apparently it's supposed to have a narrative that goes through all 3 expansions as opposed to just this expansion deal with this big bad, that expansion deal with that big bad, so on and so forth.
Pandas.
Yeah,
All I really know about Warcraft is there's pandas.
there is pandas. There was a whole expansion about pandas.
Yeah, yeah.
A whole expansion about pandas?
Yes.
Yes.
Mists of Pandaria.
Hell yeah.
Yes. They added in monks and pandas.
I've never
Back
played.
during the hype of Kung Fu Panda.
Wait, was that really related?
No, entirely not related.
Okay.
It just happened to be at the same time.
I just thought it was an incredible marketing strategy
No.
from a movie team that really didn't know their audience.
No.
or something.
No, the Pandarian race was made as, from what I remember, it was a Halloween joke costume thing from one of their creative team members that did an artwork for him and his daughter as World of Warcraft characters, and it was him as a big panda because he was a bigger guy, and his little daughter that was dressed up as a panda girl as well, sort of idea. And then they put them into the game of Warcraft 3, and then it kind of just evolved it. It's a whole race. They were hidden behind mists. There's this whole culture behind them.
That is
Yeah.
adorable. I love it.
But yes, now you can play as pandas, and
Yes.
they have a roll and a jump animation and stuff. It's hilarious.
Sick. Sick. That is great. I'm still I'm not gonna.
Yep.
But I'll look at them from afar. While I do, while I go look at the panda people,
Yes.
I'm going to leave you, dear listeners, in the capable hands of Paul, who is going to tell you about a little game he's been playing.
Nice. A little game.
Oh, delightful. Yes, Paul has played a little game.
This Paul has played a little
Okay,
game.
they're losing their minds. I'm going. Goodbye.
Whee!
Galactic Glitch. Galactic Glitch. Galactic Glitch is a roguelite action. No. Don't tune out. Okay. Anyway, this is a mini review, so it's quick. And also, Galactic Glitch is pretty rad. Berlin-based Crunchy Leaf Games has done a smart thing with Galactic Glitch, and that is steal from some of the best in the genre. Some people use the word homage, but those people are cowards. In this case, I'd put the game somewhere between Rogue Legacy and Hades, and this is mainly referring to the meta game. You have a base that expands between runs, along with unlocking new equipment and upgrades, and like Hades, you can choose a weapon that you want to start with. Also, rarely would I finish a run without unlocking something new. The game came to my attention simply because it looked awesome. Bright and colourful space battles happening inside warping bubbles that stretch when you move against the edge and you tear through as you progress to the next bubble. Close combat spaceships of many different flavours just duking it out. A short GIF was all I needed to look further. So, what are the runs like? Awesome! The focus of Galactic Glitch is its combat, and it really separates itself in that regard. Top-down twin-stick shooter, spaceship to spaceships with physics. One of your core abilities is that you can pick up items and launch them. At first I wasn't using it much as shooting enemies seemed faster, but soon I was juggling guns and hurling rocks as upgrades gave me lots of powerful options. The builds get fun really quickly. They don't go for the obscene craziness of games like The Binding of Isaac, but you feel strong and agile the whole time. Bonuses for attacking enemies from the rear, kickback from guns, dodging out of telegraphed attacks, it all feels very impactful, and I found myself often with a big grin. The game is technically in early access, and I'm not sure why, other than the developer indicating that they're still actively developing the game, which is good because the game feels great as it is, and there is more to come. But don't take my word for it, although I'd be honoured if you trusted me that much, because there is a demo available on Steam and even a free prologue. Galactic Glitch is a roguelite with extremely solid bones on which they built an incredibly satisfying combat system. Check it out on Steam for a little under $20. I played the game with code provided by the publisher.
You're listening to Zed Games at 4ZZZ.
You're listening to Zed Games on 4ZZZ.
Oi mate, you're listening to Zed Games at 4ZZZ.
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 Got a bit carried away.
You're listening to Zed Games
Zed Games.
here on 4ZZZ.
4ZZZ.
That we are.
I am Maylee, and I'm joined by the wonderful Caroline and Peter tonight in studio, and we are about to receive a lovely treat from Peter.
Indeed.
Take it away, Peter.
So, I have recently been enjoying a few different bullet heaven games. Vampire Survivors caught my attention about a year ago, many years after it originally came out, but was brought to my attention. And I recently reviewed a version of Deep Rock Galactic Survivor for its early access version as well. I've found that I really enjoy these games for their quick gameplay, moment-to-moment strategies, you're picking new weapons, upgrades, and getting better in your arsenal and things like that. One thing I have been wanting to enjoy more with these sort of games, though, is my passion for multiplayer, social gaming and things. I want to play with my friends and either work together or challenge each other to last as long as possible. Not through some leaderboard, high score, or anything like that, but in the same world at the same time, and maybe also throwing some damage and shade their way if I find they're getting too far ahead. I know Vampire Survivors has recently come out with its couch co-op, so you can play on one screen and things like that, but I've found it very limiting because all the players are required to stay together on the same screen, and each player is restricted to a fewer amount of weapons and combos and things like that. But recently, I have come across something that has scratched this social itch of mine. The new game I have been playing has a demo out on Steam that came out during the most recent Next Fest. I've also recently gotten a closed beta test key that I was playing for the past couple of days.
Lucky.
Yes, it has been a lot of fun. Now, the game, The Spell Brigade, I can't say it hasn't probably potentially been influenced by those weird memes and gifs of the Shadow Wizard Money Gang or anything like that, because it very, very much heavily feels like it to some extent. But it's an online co-op survivors like Bullet Heaven, not Bullet Hell, a game where you choose a wizard and you cast spells as you walk around. Unlike most other Bullet Heaven games, you then have the option of starting the game by yourself, or have the option of inviting up to 3 friends to tackle the challenge of slaying hordes of dark creatures together. These creatures, commonly in the form of tiny crawling bugs, slimy leeches, flame-spewing insects, and giant tank-like crabs, currently provide a decent... giant crabs that are very, very tanky, provide a decent variety of enemies to keep you on your wizarding toes. If you manage to survive long enough, you end up encountering what seems to be a tentacled horror, very reminiscent of Lovecraftian nightmares, who hurls rocks in your relentless pursuit. Overall, there isn't much story being placed within the game so far, so players are free to make up their own at this point, but each wizard that you unlock through different challenges provides their own unique quirkiness as they waddle, walk, or stride around the play space as you're doing so. Now, for the gameplay, as with most Bullet Heaven games, you start out being quite underpowered, able to survive for a short time, but unless particularly lucky with your unlocks, or as you kind of stay one step ahead of your enemies sort of thing, you'll most likely not survive to finish the first boss on your initial run. You do have a few chances in this game, which is nice. You have 3 lives while playing by yourself, so you don't just have to rely on just the 1 life. But in multiplayer, you do have a few more as well, but we'll get to that shortly. Each level brings with it either a direct upgrade for one of your spells you already have, so each level that you gain as you're playing sort of thing directly upgrades one of your spells, or provides a multi-spell upgrade, or a key at key levels a new spell. Each one a decision you need to make to help you survive longer, but without a clear plan going in, the enemies quickly outnumber you, along with their health pools as well. In multiplayer, you have the advantage of numbers. You have more damage at the start of the game due to having more spells, but you do have to be careful, as unlike other Bullet Heavens, this is the first time I've encountered friendly fire. So you have to be careful with how you're kind of positioning and moving.
That's rude.
This proves to be quite difficult to avoid if you stick too closely together as a group, as you only have control over your wizard's movement. You don't have directing spells or anything else like that. In multiplayer, It does have other benefits though. More lives to start off with if you do lose a teammate, but for each level you get for each level that you get within the game, your friendly wizards respawn as well. So you don't have to keep using your lives. So you don't have to go and resurrect them and use one. But just if you do level up and get them to respawn when they level up, they come back with a much, much smaller health pool to start with. So they're usually only going to be one hit away from death. Once your spells have enough individual levels, they gain once you've started leveling up a fair bit, once your spells have leveled up individually, they gain an elemental affinity as well. So you can choose to specialize it in fire, lightning, acid, or ice. This provides different unique effects. Some you could probably guess sort of idea. Ice probably slows them down. Acid destroys armor. Fire burns can cause stacking. But as your spells level up more, you can then choose a second elemental affinity to go with it.
Oh.
So you can either level it up down the same one. So if you choose lightning to start with, you can get thundering lightning, and it'll hit even more enemies or do more damage quicker and things like that. Or you can specialize in multiple different ones. So you could do like acid ice. So it'll slow them down and also destroy armor.
Fire ice.
Yep, you can.
Fire and ice. A song of fire and ice? Whatever?
No.
Yep.
A wizard of fire and ice. There we go.
Yeah.
Now, throughout the game as well, a bar or timer at the top of your screen is ever increasing, counting down to when the boss is going to appear. At key intervals throughout the game, it will advise of different objectives for you to try and collect bonus rewards. These can be as simple as go and stand in this area to close the portal or otherwise and whatnot. These side objectives are entirely optional, and in my experience, they are beneficial on early levels, but as you get further into it, they just become more and more challenging because you're getting overwhelmed with enemies. And in multiplayer specifically, one of the main ones of just standing in an area to close it, when the circle is so small to stand in, you can't fit all of the people in there to do it quickly because you're damaging each other. So it's kind of like, I'm going to take turns and run in and out and whatnot as you're going. It definitely requires some planning and a decent amount of communication with your friends. And as usual for these sort of bullet heaven games, once you've finished the game, you head back to the main menu, you can purchase some upgrades to your base stats and things like that. Most games that I've played, you have a cost for each individual upgrade for each individual stat that increases. But this one, it increases overall. So you can put 1 point in at a certain level, but every other point from that point onwards will be increased in cost. So you've got to plan out kind of how you're increasing those stats and choose some of the better ones to start with while they're cheap, before you start getting them being multiple thousands of gold coins, which is the currency in the game to get there. Music for the game, kind of non-existent for the most part, being in an early access beta and whatnot. It's got some pleasant sounds for each of the creatures and spells and other things like that, which is very handy when you're playing with other people, because you can't see them on the screen, but you can hear the spells going off to your left or right to try and avoid running your wave of creatures into theirs, making it much, much harder. But yeah, I'm hoping that the game provides some decent background music to, bop along to and escalate the intensity of the fights and stuff like that. Overall, I've thoroughly enjoyed my experience so far with the Spell Brigade, and I'm looking forward to seeing more content from the development team as they get nearer to its early access goal. This year is when they're planning for it, and hopefully get to include myself in some future beta tests as well. The game has a unique art style. It very much feels similar to kind of like a painted, high texture, low poly-esque sort of thing. I don't know if you guys have ever played the Final Fantasy IX remaster.
Nope.
No? Really, really low poly, but very, very nice high-looking graphics and things like that. And that's what originally intrigued me about it, because it was 3D, it's not pixel art like most other bullet heavens, it's a decent-looking game sort of idea.
Yeah, it looks really...
It's very clear and easy to see sort of thing. But once I started playing it sort of idea, the friendly fire, the multiplayer, the increasing spell combinations as they add more elements, and all of the different promises of new wizards and customizations and new environments and everything else they have on their roadmap sort of thing, is what's keeping me excited to play more, especially that multiplayer. If anybody likes these sort of games, I definitely recommend checking it out. It's only on Steam at the moment, but they've said they are making it for Steam Deck compatibility as well. And yeah, it's up to 4 players. There is a free demo that you can play multiplayer in already.
Ooh.
So check it out, download it,
Nice.
sign up to their betas as they come.
Free multiplayer demo. Damn.
And I've already
very
finished
sweet.
it a few different times with a few different groups, but I'm always keen to play more. So yeah, highly recommend people checking it out at least. And it's a 6-person indie dev team from Belgium.
Hell yeah.
It is Bolt Blaster Games. They've only got one other game under their belt, which was a first-person VR title of some sort.
Okay, that's a departure from...
Yeah.
It looks really interesting. I think I will have to give it a go.
Yeah,
Download it tonight and we can play it.
Bullet Heaven, Bullet Hell isn't my normal scene, but I've been convinced I'll give it a go.
Awesome.
I like trying new things. Thank you for that.
Yes,
I
thank
say
you.
we get back into some music.
Mm-hmm.
Get energized.
Right.
Ready to fight.
Right, if you insist.
Well. It's good music.
That it is.
Consider laser, disco, laser disco, inferno.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, are you intrigued now?
All right, put it in my ear hole.
Yes.
Here is laser disco inferno from Mullet Mad Jack.
The weekly dose of science on 4ZZZ is now available as a podcast.
I learned that you can hear the difference between different water temperatures when they're poured. I'm going to pour one after the other into a different glass, and you have to tell me which one is which temperature. I've got a hot and a cold. Right, here's the first one. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm saying cold.
It sounds cool. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Here's the second one. Well played.
Shut up. Search No Idea 4ZZZ on your favourite podcasting app. That's spelled KNOW. Like no idea? It's a visual pun on an audio platform. I don't know why we did it.
Hello. You just
Hello.
heard man getting bitten by an alligator and he screams.
I mean, that sounded accurate.
Yeah.
That's from the game Astro Pig. Before that, I already told you going in, but I'm going to say it again, Laser Disc Inferno. Mullet Mad Jack.
Nice.
But we're not here to talk about Mullet Mad Jack. We're here to talk about man getting bitten by an alligator and he screams.
Yep.
From Astro Pig.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Paul to talk about Astro Pig.
Ooh, nice.
Oh,
Hi, Paul.
and where's Zed Games?
On 4ZZZ.
Bye!
Astro Pig by Garoa Studios is a vibe. It's a puzzle game starring a pig, and that pig is in space. And that pig doesn't want to stress you out too much. The meat of the game are puzzle sets which you navigate by jumping between small planetoids you can circumnavigate. Once you've jumped, you can change direction in space by chucking stuff in the opposite direction. That's your starting point, and each level will add some complications. I only had one real complaint with the gameplay, and that was that the default control scheme was relative to your character's position on the sphere. As I just used the word default, I found this easily addressed in the game's menu and was able to switch to absolute directions, in that right would always travel clockwise and left the opposite. Difficulty-wise, the game isn't overly taxing, and honestly, I would have liked some more challenging levels at the end game, but as I said in the intro, Astro Pig is a vibe. It has a really attractive pixel style, and I'm always a sucker for any game you can walk around planetoids in. But to set the scene, let's focus on the music for a second. Oh, these devs definitely are on the lo-fi beats to study to train. So much so, outside of the puzzles levels, when chilling in your ship, you can just chill and listen to music, or even make your own mixes out of the samples in the game. You'll also collect a few arcade game cartridges in the game, and you can play them on your ship's computer for no reason other than it's fun and it's the vibe. There's an eclectic cast of characters you'll meet on your journey. The text is a little long-winded for my taste, but I think they might have been enjoying the vibe too much, yeah. Overall, Astropig is a short, mildly challenging puzzle game with some killer aesthetics and a real, mood. The game is available on PC for around $15.
I am Maylee. I'm here with Caroline and Peter. We are Zed Games here on 4ZZZ, and we are getting towards the end of the evening.
I know.
It's very sad.
It's always sad. It's like it shouldn't happen.
No, we should stay here forever.
I've threatened
Paused
it
in
before.
time.
I'm big enough. I can hold the door closed.
Yeah. I feel like it would get gross. How long do you think?
Probably.
Honestly, a day.
20 minutes at most.
I'd be sick of it.
We'd
I've got to
need-
go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I was going to say we'd need to pee.
Okay, well, we won't do that, but we will be back next week to
We
talk
shall.
more about video games.
About peeing. And possibly peeing in video games.
Are there video games that you can pee?
Yeah.
I'm
you can pee in
sure
Animal
there
Crossing.
is.
Yes. Well, in Animal Crossing, you can use a toilet.
Yeah, are there other games?
I'm sure there are other games that allow you to actually go to the
Yeah,
toilet.
but do you know of any?
Ooh, all right, let's do a quick Google.
No.
No.
I like to think that Animal Crossing is a trailblazer.
Oh.
It's one of a kind.
Hazel has messaged in saying the Bear Grylls game.
Well, that just makes sense.
And you can drink it.
No, that just makes sense.
I mean, that's a key mechanic, I imagine.
Okay.
I'm vindicated now.
I don't want everyone's last memory of us to be talking about pee, so...
I do.
Okay, well, I'm the one in charge, so
All right, that's
too bad.
Overruled.
That's right, we
Can you
can
think
continue
of
it in our
anything?
chat later.
If I'm correct, it is... No, I am not correct.
Oh?
I was going to say that our next show will be during the... Radiothon, but it will be the one after that, I believe. It starts on the Friday.
Ooh.
Yep.
Well, it's coming up.
It's coming up soon.
So you should
guys.
prepare to subscribe to 4ZZZ.
Isn't that Friday the Indie Dev Night?
No, that's
Separate.
We'll let you know next week.
another
We'll let
day.
you know when all the things
I
are.
don't know.
For now, all you need to know is
There
we
are
love
things.
you. And
that too.
to figure out what games you can pee in. Okay, goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Zed Games.
If you'd like to listen to more, you can find us on the Community Radio Plus app.
Or find us on socials at ZED Games AU.
See you next time.